Your goal is to speak English fluently, but sometimes you're not able to get words out. You get frustrated and overwhelmed because you're not able to organize your thoughts and speak English like you want to. Well, today, my friend, I am going to give you 11 techniques that will help you master English fluency. You ready? Well then, I'm Teacher Eliza. Let's jump right in. The very first technique I want you to follow is writing in English daily. I say this all the time to my students. Again, writing in English daily. If you're watching this video, some of you are listening to it on the podcast. You'll see behind me there are tons of journals and notebooks. Why? Because I write on a regular basis. So I understand the importance of writing daily. When you start writing in English daily, many things are going to happen. Here's the description that breaks this down. You need to keep a journal or a diary in English because it will help you organize your thoughts and apply new vocabulary. You're constantly learning new things. If you watched the lesson from last week where I taught you 7 new English expressions, you could have written those expressions down in your notebook. You have a journal? Or buy a journal and start writing in it on a daily basis. Why is this so beneficial? This is the benefit. You see, this exercise, this practice of writing in an English journal every day, aids in internalizing grammatical structures and expressions, making them more accessible for speaking. Now, you know I don't teach grammar on my channel. I don't teach grammar in my academy. That is something that you have heard me say over and over again. Even though I don't have grammar lessons, my students still improve their grammar. Why? Because they follow these techniques. Techniques just like this one. When you're writing on a regular basis, you're also going to start editing yourself, like, wait a minute. This doesn't look like what I read yesterday. This doesn't read the same way that Eliza's presentations sound. Something's off. And you'll start correcting yourself. This will help you improve your grammar and start using words naturally. So later on, when you go to speak, you'll remember what you wrote. So again, technique number 1. Write in English daily. Technique number 2, speech shadowing. I want you to repeat after me at the same pace. I want you to repeat this. Hey, you look amazing today. Good. One more time. Hey, you look amazing today. Speech shadowing is all about not just repeating the words, but repeating the pace, repeating the inflections. This is going to help you. So here it is. Practice speaking by mimicking or shadowing a native speaker's speech from audio or video resources, trying to match their pronunciation, tone, and pace closely. We're talking about helping you finally master English fluency. Technique number 2 is all about speech shadowing. Here is the benefit. This technique will help you, my friend, improve your accent, intonation, and fluency by training your ears and speech muscles simultaneously. This is why this technique is so important and so powerful. So again, technique number 2, speech shadowing, mimicking someone else. Technique number 3, TED Talks and educational lectures. Again, TED Talks and educational lectures. We're living in a time where information is available to us for free. You can go on YouTube, which is where you're watching this video, and access tons upon tons of videos, including TED Talks and educational lectures. So what you're going to do is watch TED Talks. Why? Watching TED Talks and educational lectures in English exposes you to complex ideas and specialized vocabulary. Remember, your goal is to improve your English fluency. In order to improve your fluency, you have to improve your vocabulary. You have to be exposed to more English. This is a technique that will help you. Here's the benefit. It improves your comprehension of advanced topics and aids in acquiring academic or professional language skills. You're trying to get to the next level, so you have to watch people and listen to people who are at the level you are trying to get to. So again, technique number 3, TED Talks and educational lectures. Technique number 4, creative writing in English. Now, remember, the first technique was about writing in a daily journal in English. Technique number 4 is a little bit different. Technique number 4 is creative writing in English. Let me explain. Engaging in creative writing activities like crafting stories, poems, or blogs in English is different from writing about your daily life in your journal, where you're documenting things that actually happened. Creative writing is all about using your imagination, coming up with interesting stories, or teaching other people by writing a blog, or even writing a poem in English. This technique will stretch your brain in a different way. You're not just documenting your day. Instead, you're coming up with ideas and situations in English. This technique, once again, will help you master English fluency. Here's another benefit. It encourages innovative use of language and deeper engagement with linguistic structures, enhancing expressive capabilities. It will help you express yourself more because you are forcing your brain to pull on all of these things you've learned to make them into something interesting. This technique is going to take your English to the next level. Technique number 5, listening to English audiobooks. Audiobooks are powerful. I have audiobooks on my phone, and it's very convenient to listen to an audiobook while I am either working, cooking, or exercising. You have access to audiobooks, so listen to an English audiobook. Incorporating English audiobooks into your routine allows you to hear complex narratives and dialogue. When you're listening to an audiobook, you're hearing an individual who is a native English speaker. They're not speaking slowly. They're speaking at a regular pace about complex topics. This gives your brain the opportunity to process the information. Listening to audiobooks helps your brain learn to process information, and you will also be able to regurgitate and use the same patterns when you speak English. So again, listening to English audiobooks. What is another benefit? It sharpens your listening skills and introduces you to diverse literary vocabularies and storytelling techniques. You're going to be a better storyteller. You're going to have a more expansive vocabulary. This is why this technique is so important. Now, this is all about using mind maps to organize your thoughts or plan projects in English. I love this technique. This is how I think. This is how I've always thought. Again, this refers to organizing your thoughts before speaking. This refers to having supporting pieces of information for your idea and then speaking. I remember when I was in high school, we did it in college as well, but we did it more in high school. We'd have on a piece of paper a diagram with circles. In the middle would be your main point. On the outside of that bigger circle would be smaller circles with supporting points, reasons, and examples to support your idea. This is a mind map, making sure you have a main idea and then connecting points that support that main idea. Creating mind maps is important. Here's the benefit. The visual and organizational tool not only aids in planning, but also in thinking and brainstorming directly in English, promoting fluency in thought processes. Get a piece of paper, get a notebook, and write out your thoughts. Then create visuals, circles, squares, rectangles, to organize your thoughts. Mind mapping, game changer. I love this technique. Technique number 9, practicing with karaoke in English. I almost paused, like, wait a minute, we're going to sing? Practicing with karaoke in English. Let me explain. Singing along to English songs using karaoke videos or apps helps improve pronunciation and rhythm. When you sing a song and you're enjoying it, you're actually improving your pronunciation, following the rhythm. It's a relaxed way of studying English. Here's the benefit. This technique engages listening skills and mimicry in a fun, musical context, enhancing your ability to hear and reproduce sounds accurately. This is a fun way to learn how to master English fluency. Technique number 10, creating English content. Woo boy, here we go, creating English content. Start a blog, YouTube channel, or podcast in English about your hobbies, your studies, or your daily life. I'm going to pause. You start a YouTube channel, you start a blog, you start a podcast about something you're interested in. I have had students in my academy, Bookish English, who have done this exact thing. Started YouTube channels about makeup, started YouTube channels about their travels, started YouTube channels about their English journey. And what happens when you do this? Your English will start to improve even faster. I know it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. You're a little nervous, not sure, but trust me, this technique works. We're talking about improving and mastering English fluency and doing it faster. Here's the benefit. It develops writing or speaking skills while connecting with a broader audience and encouraging regular language use. I got to post a video next week, so I need to prepare. I need to mind map before I record my YouTube video. This technique, creating English content, connects other techniques as well. Start doing it, I'm telling you. Technique number 11, exploring English literature. Reading classic and contemporary English literature helps you gain exposure to rich language, storytelling techniques, and cultural insights. This is a way, again, for you to enjoy the process of learning English, to expand your vocabulary, and to enhance your skills as it relates to expressing your ideas. The benefit: this builds a deeper understanding of language nuances, historical context, and various literary styles and genres. You're going to expand your horizons. This is what it's all about as you're trying to master English fluency. Remember to put these techniques into practice. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll talk to you next time. You still there? You know what time it is? It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right, so I had another story prepared for you, but right at the end of this lesson, I mentioned the technique related to karaoke. So I want to switch the story I was going to tell you and tell you this one. This also happened when I was in South Korea. So I spent almost 10 years in South Korea. During that time, I taught thousands of students, learned how to speak Korean, and also got my master's degree in Oriental painting. Now, working and studying in another language is no easy feat. Doing these things simultaneously, oh my goodness, it will stretch you. You'll realize how much you are capable of. So, I was in this situation, working full-time and studying for my master's degree. It was a very challenging season, a very difficult season of my life. I lived with one of my friends. Her name is Janelli. If you see this, hey girl. We're still very close now. Janelli was my roommate, and we had another friend. We were all good friends and worked together. One evening, Janelli and this other friend said, "Hey Tiff, we want to go to karaoke. Let's go to the Noribang." Noribang in Korean, right? The singing room. And I said, "I can't go because I need to study." They said, "No, come on Tiff, come on. You can come, let's go, let's go. We're going to sing and have a good time. You need to take a break." I said, "No, I have to focus on my studies." They said, "Tiff, come on." And I could see by the look on their faces, I was like, you know what? Let me just take a break tonight, hang out with my friends, and not worry about this. Let me tell you, we had the most fun singing our hearts out at that singing room, at that Noribang, the karaoke place. It was so much fun. It was on a Saturday night, and they invited a few other friends. We just sang and sang. We were sweating, we were dancing, singing. It was so much fun. Fast forward to now again, that was many years ago, but I still talk about that to this day. When I'm on the phone talking to Janelli, I say, "Girl, I'll never forget that night." Because it was a moment when I wanted to be studying, but my friend realized I needed to take a break, relax, and just enjoy life for a moment. And we had a ball. So, I want to encourage you, as you're on this English journey, if there's a moment when you need to take a break, if there's a moment when your family or friends are like, "Hey, we want to spend time with you," don't miss out on those times to share with your family or friends, spending quality time together. You'll remember those times, and you'll still achieve your goals. Because I still graduated, even though I went to that karaoke that night. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll talk to you next time.